2023, I returned along with Sam Cicluna to Italy to lead a couple of workshops in the beautiful hills of Tuscany. We visited many different sites such as the famous Podere Belvedere and Baccoleno, but as I already covered these in last year's videos, I'll focus the attention of these couple of videos on locations that I didn't show last year. All locations I did show, but under vastly different conditions. So be sure to check out those videos for even more information about the area or get my digital landscape photography map of Tuscany with many of the most iconic locations to photograph. So I am back in beautiful, beautiful Tuscany. And after a couple of moody days where we've also got some beautiful photos, the sun, as you can see, is finally out and we are out photographing the sunset. So right now we are actually doing a little bit of run and gun. We are driving around this gravel road here behind me and basically just photographing whatever pops out to us. It's a good exercise to be able to adapt very quickly, see the compositions, get in and out of the car and just hammer off and just maybe, if the light isn't optimal, at the very least wait a little until it is. Right now I'm photographing towards this house here in the background, and what I'm doing is I'm trying to find some grass that I can use as a little bit of a foreground. Then I'm zoomed into around-ish 50 millimeter using that. Then I'm putting a polarizing filter in front of the camera so I really darken down that blue sky right there. I can handhold this one, there's plenty of light, ISO 100, f7.1 to blur the grass a little bit in the foreground, and with the polarizing filter it gives me probably a shutter speed of around 1/200th-ish of a second. So we are actually also photographing in this direction here towards the town of Pienza. Beautiful, beautiful shot. It's a long lens shot for sure. But as you can see, we have these hills here in the foreground. And with those hills in the foreground, we also have a little bit of cypress trees here. And then it leads up to Pienza in the background with a very characteristic spire. Beautiful. I have considered whether it makes sense to include the foreground here. But honestly, I don't really find that that makes too much sense because the spire is so small. And after all, that is my focal point, so I don't want to drag too much attention away from that. Letting the light do it all, letting the light light up the town, and then have a dark cloud there in the background. And I can see my hair is gorgeous. During these 2 weeks, we stayed at the beautiful, authentic Tuscan farmstead Borgo di Pieve Assalti. Sorry for butchering that name. Located on top of a hill, it provided some beautiful views over the surrounding landscapes, and as you can see here, it sometimes gets engulfed in low fog, which gives great shooting opportunities from the villa. And yes, we also enjoyed the heated indoor pool. If you want to join next year, the workshop is now available on me and Sam's homepages. So, good morning. If I look tired, it's because I am. We were up at like 4:50. I was this morning. We left very, very early to catch sunrise here at Borgo or something like that. Super famous place here in Tuscany. Cypress trees leading up into a villa up here that is Borgo. So right now I'm trying to play around with the light coming through the cypress trees here onto the field. Just walking here at the side of the field, very important that we don't walk out into the field here. These are farmers' crops. It is looked very much down upon to just walk into the field and destroy the crops. We don't want to do that. It is of course possible to fly a drone above the fields, so in that way you don't destroy them. That is a big benefit of flying the drones. you can still get the photos. Obviously, you are limited to whatever focal length your drone has, but yeah, it looks very beautiful from above too. So we had hoped for a little bit more mist this morning. It has been a cold night, no wind, humidity acceptably high, but sadly there is only mist in the valley behind this place here. We are a little bit up on a hill on this specific location. But playing with the sun, coming through the cypress trees still look beautiful. In regard to the settings, there's not a big deal to it. Between f11, f16 with my Tamron 28-200, nice diverse lens. It can give me the wide view, it can give me the zoomed in view too. ISO 100, plenty of light, gives me a fast enough shutter speed to handhold it, especially with the built-in image stabilization of the camera. As you know, I'm not too bothered about all these settings. I want to make it as easy for myself to be able to just shoot as many photos as possible and think creatively rather than technically. Let me know down in the comments which one of these two photos you prefer. The one from the air with the light shining through the cypress trees, or the one from the ground where the top of the barley fields are lit. In both examples you can follow the lines towards the cypress trees and then to the house on top of the hill, so both compositions work. One is just a bit more complex than the other, so it's more a matter of taste. And if you want to learn more about leading lines, repeating patterns, subjects, and how to make them stand out, be sure to get my ebook on composition in landscape photography. It's very easy to read and has tons of examples as to get to the point fast. If you're happy with the first, you can always follow up with my second ebook on composition, where I share even more compositional tools. There are links to both of them in the description of the video. So we are driving along the roads here in Tuscany, and I love this landscape. Like, how can you not? Just look at this. This is one of the most Tuscan-esque scenes there are. So I just really love those rolling hills. And we are here in the start-ish of May. And compared to last year when we were here in the start of June, they have already harvested the fields here in front, but now they're green, they're beautiful, we have white puffy clouds. I'm putting on my polarizing filter, zooming into about 100-ish millimeter. With the sun from the side, it lights up the top of the hills, and then I can darken down the sky a little bit with the polarizing filter. Now I'm just going completely handheld with this one because we have plenty of sun, and I'm basically just waiting for the sun to hit the right parts of the scene. We have a little bit of dappled light, which is like my favorite light. You can see up here, we have the sun and we have some clouds, and it creates some holes where the light can shine through, and it lights up parts of the landscape from time to time. Looks absolutely beautiful.
It's this way now, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's this way now.
Yeah, now you can wave. Are you enjoying this?
It's terrific.
It's terrific.
Really good, yeah.
Perfect.
And Maz is really great. He's a great teacher.
Oh, thank you, Pam. Oh, Pam is the best. She was with me. You were with me in Iceland in 2018.
18. He really looked after me.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
We need to get everybody home safe. So, settings, just to get everything in focus. F16, ISO 100 gives me shutter speed of 1/50th of a second with this one here. easy peasy, no big deal here. I could go maybe to f11, but I'm already out at 100 millimeters, so not to have the foreground out of focus. I'm just trying my best here with f16. So another reason to shoot at f16 is that this lens has a god-awful vignetting inside of it. And shooting at f16, I minimize that. I have sharp corners from edge to edge. Well, I have sharp picture from edge to edge. And I make sure to not have that vignetting. It's something I talked about in one of my videos from a few weeks back, that especially long lenses, when you zoom in and out and depending on the aperture that you're using, you can get like a circular vignetting in the middle of the photo. And for this specific lens, shooting at f16, I get rid of that effect and I don't want it. So yeah, that's also one of the reasons. That evening we went to photograph sunset at this famous location. The light was beautiful, but due to the huge amount of people I didn't feel like vlogging it. I got the classic shot of the winding road with the cypress trees last year. However, because we were here a month earlier than last year, all the vegetation was green. So let me know again down in the comments which one you prefer, the golden one or the more green one. On this evening, however, we were also lucky to have the sun set exactly behind one of the stone pine trees, also known as umbrella pines due to their characteristic shape, and I managed to capture this photo with the 400mm lens. As you all know, I'm a complete sucker for atmosphere and fog, and to be totally honest, it was quite a disappointing first week in that regard, at least until the very last morning of the workshop. We didn't get a huge amount of ground fog either, but we did get enough humidity to capture some gorgeous photos with the telephoto lens over the rolling hills of Valdorcia once the sun rose and backlit the atmosphere. The rolling hills, line of cypress trees leading to the villa and the 2 hot air balloons in the backlit mist is for me all what Tuscany is about, and this specific photo is definitely one of my favorites from these 2 weeks. If you're heading to Tuscany yourself, be sure to get my easy to integrate with Google Maps digital landscape photography map of Tuscany, where I share many of the most famous photography locations. I'll continuously update the map with new locations if I find any that can sustain several visits. Along with the ebooks, there is a link to it in the description of the video. See you next time, where we got some absolutely world-ending epic conditions.